Hi guys, thank you for joining me today. As you can tell, it's not been a good day. My voice is a little bit different, but I'm good, I promise. I want to say thank you all for joining me. Let me go ahead and start with official Officer O'Neill. Officer in the house, everyone behave even though it's Valentine's Day. We have Lizzie, we have Snuckerbum. Thank you for coming, Snuckerbum. Just lurking. I love that name, although I'm a little paranoid, but hey, you've been nice. Thank you for being here. We have Judy, we have Lazy Bunny, we have Lizzie, Potato Casserole, we have Unscripted Chronicles. Hey, if you guys are not subscribed to her, please try to get over there, subscribe to her. She's awesome. She's awesome in every way. All right, guys. Like I said, this isn't going to be a normal one. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit different. It's been an emotional day, but I'm going to do my very best. Bear with me. Okay, we have Demontre Franklin here. Is the sound okay before I even get started? And you probably are going to hear me vape today. I usually don't, but I'm probably going to today. Does it sound okay? Thank you. I just want to make sure this microphone is working right. I know my boy bumped it, and ever since then we've kind of had some little bit of mic issues, but not a lot. Okay, good deal, good deal. Okay, now this story is part of a collaborative project between Project Cold Case and the University of North Florida journalism class. Now the students created this and wrote this story as a class project. They were sweet, awesome, and respectful. Now, those three words encompass DeMonte Franklin's personality from a young age. Not a day went by that he wasn't smiling or trying to make someone around him happy. Trey, as he was called, a 15-year-old student at Jean High School in Jacksonville, Florida, he played the euphonium in the band, and I know I said that wrong, and spent his free time playing video games. He and his father had countless Madden football matches. They spent hours at night playing so they could just have more time together, even if it meant Trey would stay up past his bedtime. Now, Trey loved to have fun with people that he loved, but one night Trey went out and he never came back. On October 27th, 2014, DeMontre headed out to Eureka Gardens, a local apartment complex, to meet up with some friends. Now, this area was known for violent crimes that have occurred there. Upon his arrival, Trey was shot multiple times in the back. A witness who heard the gunshots found him outside their back door. Now, when the police began to notify the family, Trey's father had his phone on silent. It wasn't until several calls later that he spotted his phone screen light up, and from across the room, it was his sister calling him saying, "He's gone," and she cried. Hey, Stormy, thank you for joining. Guys, I'm trying to keep up with chat also. Bear with me today. Like I said, this is kind of an emotional day. So if I act a little funny, I'm good. I promise. I'm just a crybaby today. But anyway, thank you for coming in, Stormy. I appreciate it. So many people showed up to pay their respects to Trey's funeral. It felt like thousands. The family had recalled that people they had never seen or talked to before in years had came to honor his life. Classmates, family members, and friends mourned the loss of this young life, gone way too soon to gun violence. Almost 6 years later, Trey's murder remains unsolved. Now his family prays that someone will step forward and confess, giving them the answers that they deserve. But they haven't let this cruel nature of death overshadow the brightness of his soul. In his grandmother's house, years of photographs, memories hanging on the wall. Each year of his life has been found captured on glossy paper. Each one shows a smile, the smile, that little grin, that little smile they will never see again. One photo particularly stands out of his father's bedroom wall. Now, Trey's sitting on a curb facing one direction. Next to him is Demetrius in the same hunched over position, facing the opposite way. Now, in that photo, they took nearly identical sitting side by side. The only difference between them are signs of age. And as if someone has photoshopped a picture from his father's youth and put it beside him. But that's not the case here. Now, Trey may be gone, but he's remembered in photographs and in joyful memories. Christmas is a big deal for the Franklin family, especially to Rosina. No matter what, she says, she always makes sure her 10 grandkids get what they want, even if it means spending hundreds of dollars on each one of them. She says money doesn't matter anymore. Love does. Clothes, toys, electronics, if they want it, they get it. She wants them to be happy and have good lives. Now, this thought holds her together every time the holidays run around, and if she can't buy presents for Trey like she once did, she misses his bright smile and the joy on his face on Christmas Day. Nevertheless, she cherishes the 15 Christmases she had with him. Rosina shares another memory of her grandson, one that speaks to the true love and respect in his heart. Trey and his friend were outside one day having a water balloon fight. When the friend finally got hit with the balloon and it soaked his shirt, he started to panic. Afraid his mother would be mad, Trey immediately went inside into his bedroom and got him a fresh shirt. His family says that they continue to honor his life, keep his memory alive through prayer and love. While the crime remains unsolved, they believe Trey is still with them and watching over them. To them, their quotes, "He made me a better person." They may have taken his life, but they put him in a better place. If you have any information on the unsolved murder of DeMontre Franklin, please call the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. It's 904-630-0500. Aw, isn't that such a sad but warm story? Hey, Paula, thank you for coming in. I'm so happy to see you. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, guys, I'm super sorry. I didn't mean to. I do have both sides going, so it is complicated, and I realize that, but it is what it is. So next, we're going to talk about William Bud Hill, and this is an older one. But you know me, I love the older ones because even though they're gone, their memory still lives with us. And some of us don't have family. Some of us don't have family left. So when I see these older ones, it's almost like, we have to connect to these people because their families miss them. Their families could be watching. They matter. With that being said, let me go ahead on over here and get William's story out. September 20th, 2021 by Casey Payton. This story is part of a collaborative project between Project Cold Case and the University of North Florida journalism class. It was February 13th, 1981. William Rex Hill Jr. was helping watch his family owned liquor store while his wife and high school sweetheart, Mary Ann Hill, ran errands. In just under an hour, she would finish her errands and stop by to buy her husband a Valentine's Day card on her way back. Aw, isn't that just perfect for today? I mean, just a second, guys. Like I said, you're probably going to hear me vape today. It was after her purchase that she and the entire town of Hollandville, Mississippi would hear sirens. Now, when Miss Hill returned to her business, her husband of 20 years had been shot to death. Let me make sure I do have that up there. He had been shot to death. But she wasn't the only one who saw this heartbreaking scene. Her oldest son would find with his own eyes exactly what happened. For him, his last memory of his father was seeing him dead on the floor. The case has never been solved. The youngest son, John Hill, describes the aftermath of the murder as a blur. All I can remember every time you have a thought, you were crying. It's just one of those things, kind of like what they call flashbulb memory. When you experience something traumatic, it stays with you. You can remember what you had for breakfast, but you can't remember what happened that day until little pieces by little. It just add up and the memory plays out. The murder occurred just days before John's 16th birthday. He remembers the morning being completely normal. His father was sitting at his usual chair, sipping his coffee. John never knew that scene would be his last memory of his dad. Later that day, John got off the bus from school and he saw a family friend waiting for him. I really was in shock. What do you mean something happened to my dad? John recalled. And that was 3 in the evening. I had this wave come over me. I got this indication that he actually was gone, and I didn't want to believe it. Now, after William's death, the Hill family's whole world has transformed. In less than a year, Mrs. Hill decided she could no longer work where her husband was murdered. The good memories in the shop were overshadowed by its darkest moments. Even after the business was closed, the pain remained in the family. Every day they were haunted by memories of their absent father and the knowledge that the killer was still out there. I don't know the ways about the world, the people. We didn't deal with the darker side of life, John stated. It was pretty much just very innocent in a way growing up. Then it all happened like one night and day. It just changed. It changed the whole outlook of life. William Rex Hill Jr., who often went by Bud, is remembered as a man with many different sides. He was a soldier who served during World War II and the Korean War, and a secret romantic who loved to send love letters to his wife while afar and home. And of course, he was the loving father of two boys. He would do anything for you if he could, John said with a smile. When reminiscing about his dad, John recalled old, seemingly buried memories. He remembers reading his father's old love letters to his mom after his death and admiring how every Christmas gift under the tree had a little love note. He began to laugh when he remembered his father loving to catch fish but never eating it. William Hill, he didn't get the chance to watch his sons grow up, but he did teach them a life lesson to have self respect and to be honest with people. Gosh, that's heartbreaking. 40 years later, the Hill family continues to grow. The boys are now men and they have children of their own. Looking back, John says he worries that he never expressed his love for his father enough, and he always tells his wife and his son now daily how much he just loves them because he never knows when tomorrow may never come. I never remember telling my father that I love him, John said. It's something that's always stuck in my mind. Do you have any information on the unsolved murder of William Hill Jr.? Please contact their police department or dial 911. That is such a shame. What a heartbreaking story. And you know, guys, there's so many good people that we lose. Wonderful people that we lose. Let me go ahead and check chat, see how you guys are doing over here, see if anybody's causing any trouble. Hey, Mustang, thank you for joining. I think I said hello to everyone. Hi, Lake. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to see you. I don't see you often in here. Thank you for popping in. It made my day. I really appreciate it. Okay, then I'll go ahead and continue. We have Floyd Osborne. Now, going into the weekend of October 14th, 2012, Floyd Osborne Jr. had big plans, not for the weekend, but for the days after. Floyd would be starting a new job. Do your thing for the weekend, and I'll come up and get you on Sunday night, says his cousin Sonia. Now, that was the very last conversation they had at 4 a.m. the following morning. Sonia and Osborne always been close. Osborne, the middle child of 10 children, had moved in with Sonia at the age of 13. Wow, 10 children. Holy moly. We used to go to the movies. We used to go shopping at the mall. Whenever I was taking a road trip, Junior was down to go anywhere I was going. In high school, he played football, basketball, baseball, and he even graduated. He played softball at an intramural league. Floyd was in Floyd was a huge Oklahoma State University Cowboys fan. It was always a very friendly banter in the family when Oklahoma University played OSU. Now, a year after moving in with his cousin, he chose to go to a boarding school run by their tribe, the Muskie Creek Nation. The night of his high school graduation, he told his family that his girlfriend was pregnant, beginning a new chapter in his life, and oh my goodness, how excited he was. Osborne later worked in maintenance at the same school he graduated from in 2012. Now, he was living with his cousin and was in the process of getting a construction job. Floyd had a daughter and he loved his daughter. He has always babied her. He was very supportive of her. He was always hands-on when it came to her playing sports. Unfortunately, he was murdered a day before his daughter's 8th birthday. And here's the bad part, guys, trigger warning. He was stabbed multiple times. Now, he had spent the night partying with family and friends before deciding to go to another party with a friend after that, but not known if he actually ever made it there. Hey, Dumpkin Groves, isn't his is his name? Isn't Nancy? We don't care. Well, gosh, looky there. Stormy, can you take the trash out for me, honey? Because it looks like a dump here is needing dumped. Okay, so where was I at? Sonia and her three sisters both were asleep and woken up at 4:30 in the morning and was murdered, all feeling like they had all been woken up by someone. We all felt like it was him telling us that he had died. Osborne's death was a blow to both his family and his community. A lot of people came out of the woodwork for Junior's funeral. Sonia said it was just an Indian church and there was probably more people sitting outside than there was inside that church. He'd come walking up and he'd have a huge smile on his face. He'd give you a hug and he would give you a smile, even if you were mad at him, Sonia said. On holidays like Christmas and Thanksgiving, the family puts food on a platter and makes a drink and sets everything up on a little table. And that's for everybody who's passed away. Used to have a family dinner to celebrate our birthdays. We still do that. And now one of my sisters has passed away and Junior is gone. We still get together for our dinner and give them their own birthday cake. Anyone with information on the murder of Floyd Osborne is asked to call 1-800-552-8017. Another sad story. Isn't that terrible? Hey, Michael 007, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in so long. I'm so happy to see you. I really do hope that you're doing well. I hope you got your move in and you're enjoying your new home. Okay, after Floyd, we're going to go ahead and go on over. We have Audrey. Let me make sure I got. Oh, I didn't put him up here. It might help if I put him up here. See what Michael does? He throws me off here. We have Audrey Batten. Now I'm going to call him Audie because I know I'm going to say this wrong throughout this whole thing. Doodle needs more mods. Yeah, I do. I do. I do. I honestly do, but you know, I'll worry about it in a minute. I do need more mods. I do. This story is part of a collaborative project between Project Cold Case and the University of North Florida Applied Journalism class. Now, Audrey Button comes from a large, close knit, loving family, once all nested in their namesake. You know what? Hold on a minute. I don't know if I can actually mod anybody right here. I might be able to. I don't think I can, though. I can't. All right, guys. Give me just a second. I think you're right. I may need to go ahead and probably because we're going to get a lot of trolls, especially whenever I do the Oh, Stormy does a great job. She really does. It's just hard with both sides. It is super super hard. I couldn't imagine doing both sides because you know me. I would just like lose it and be like, okay, you're out, band. Okay, let me see if I can go through here and see if I can't. Guys, bear with me. But I don't need anybody in here disrespecting the dead. That's something I will not stand for. I'm just not going to stand for it. So, if that's what they're in here for, then they're just going to have to take that somewhere else. I absolutely cannot stand for that and I will not. I just won't. Okay. All right, I think I got that taken care of. If not, I apologize, guys. If there's trolls, let me know. We'll get rid of them. We'll just take out the trash and be done. But yes, I do need mods, but you know what? Sometimes there's several you just can't trust, if you know what I mean. Hey, Mark, how you doing? I'm so happy to see you. Happy to see you. Okay, let me get, and you do hear my squeaky chair. I promise it's not my butt. It is my chair. I've ordered a chair, but it's just not here yet. All right. So, Adru Patan comes from a large, close knit, loving family, once all nested into their namesake, Baton Road. Now, growing up on a private dirt road, his brother and cousins would play in the sand for hours. His mom stated she would yell at him and all to get right in the bathroom to clean themselves up. Now, he was extremely close to his younger brother. He would always take his younger brother everywhere, Timothy, with him. He was always supportive and never told him no until he started dating. Now, his mother, Betty, laughed, who reminisces about the bond of her sons and the brothers' favorite activity, along with setting off fireworks and causing trouble during special occasions like New Year's Eve and the 4th of July. Andrew was a loving, sweet boy. He grew up in St. Augustine, Florida. He enjoyed spending time hunting and fishing with his father, and as a child, his grandfather worked at the railroad station. Just mine did too. And Audrey was always interested in technology and putting things together. For Christmas, he would always ask for something to be put together. His mother, Betty, would take him to Radio Shack, and they would always pick out a kit to build radios or walkie talkies. And he was infatuated with computers and technology. His beloved grandfather had given him a computer at age 11. He was ecstatic. He took care of it like it was gold. Now, he attended Nice High School, graduating in 1996 with honors. He then continued his education, obtaining his AA degree from St. John's River State College. After graduating, now he had worked for AOL for 10 years. Wow, amazing. Now, he started at the bottom and slowly moved his way all the way up to the top of the company. And by the end of his tenure, he was part of what they called the think tank. He was responsible for fixing computers and helping others build their websites. Now, he fell in love and he got married. They had a beautiful family together. He did a lot with his kids. He traveled to theme parks, they went on picnics. But his dad has always showed him the ropes of mechanics and changing tires. Well, later those skills came to renovate the home they were living in, adding a fourth bedroom so that each child could have their own room. After leaving AOL, he got a job working for Citibank and he moved to Costa Rica to train 30 new employees on computer fraud. Now, his mom has says he loved Costa Rica because the people were warm and inviting. Betty admired how he moved into a place where he knew nobody and was able to make himself completely comfortable. She remembered one specific memory where she was taking him out one day and on the phone while she was in the cab on the way to work, he was rattling in Spanish to the cab driver. "You don't even sound like my son," she expressed to Andrew as he looked at her with the biggest smile. On June 1st, 2012, him and his father left for a trip for South Carolina to a hunting trip for a weekend work to help clean up the area for the upcoming hunting season. That Friday night they arrived. Audrey's father went to sleep to prepare for the next morning. Now, he took a bath that evening, got bored, and started to walk around the campground. It was a Friday night. Nobody was there since the hunt starts Saturday. His father woke up early that morning to find that he wasn't in bed. That morning, the parents called the authorities looking for the son, and they were notified that he was found deceased lying in the road. South Carolina Highway Patrol had no leads, and the case slowly went cold. Since that terrible morning, his family has continued to fight for answers for their son. "Someone must know something somewhere," she says. "It can't just be done by one person, I wouldn't think," she says. They continue to honor his memory and they will continue to grieve him throughout the rest of their lives. If you have any information about what has happened to this Audrey, please reach out. Call 911 immediately. What a sad story. My goodness, that's just horrible. I can't imagine. And see, bad things happen to good people all the time. Really. All the time. There's no safe place. Here we have, I'm going to say this wrong probably, and I don't mean to. I'm going to call her Cammy, even though I know that is not what they have on here. Now, Cammy's 16-year-old grandson, Namaya, recently started his first job. He's been a joy to raise, says Muhammad. Now, the boy's mother, Camilla Muhammad, wouldn't get to see him grow up. She died when she was 2, murdered in New Orleans, second in parade in 2010. She was shot once in the head and dead at the scene. No suspects have ever been publicly identified. Camellia was born on January 30th, 1978 in California's San Jose Valley region, but spent her childhood in Oakland, California. Now, in California, she worked as a caretaker of autistic children, and their parents all gave her positive reviews. She always did special things for kids. Her mother stated she and her mother eventually moved to New Orleans, where her mom would take a job offer from the city to be closer to the family. After Hurricane Katrina in 2005, the two moved back to California. Shortly after, Camellia moved to Atlanta to stay with some friends. Now, while in Atlanta, she began dating a man she later became pregnant with a son. Although she never planned to have children, she also loved taking care of her children. Have I missed anyone in chat? If I have, I apologize, guys. I don't mean to. Now, they called Miss Kay or Camille by those closest to her. She was very well known for her beautiful singing voice. She could make near perfect impressions of English, Jamaican, Hispanic, German, and Russian accents. Oh my goodness, wow. Now, on September 5th, 2010, Camellia was in New Orleans watching the Black Men of Labor's yearly Second Line Parade, founded in 1993. The Black Men of Labor Day's tribute to the accomplishments of black men in workplace and celebrates traditional jazz music and culture. Police say that one of the gunmen walked up to Camellia and shot her in the head. So, yes, Mark. She was pronounced dead at the scene. She was 32 years old. Four others were also injured in the shooting. Although a handgun was found a block away from that shooting, no suspects have ever been arrested. Camelia's death profoundly impacted her life. Her sister developed a deep depression in wake of Camilla's death and was unable to leave her bedroom for over a year. Now, since all of this, she has recovered enough to obtain employment and take care of her son now, but she feels the pain of her sister's loss. Still not right, says Camilla's mother. The entire family has received trauma counseling since Camilla's death. They still are affected by her loss. How is this even possible? Go out, have fun, go to the parade, lose your life. Not right. No suspects. No one's in prison. How is this real? Where's the justice? Even if Mohammed never finds out who murdered her daughter, she believes that karma will already be returning the favor. No one gets away with anything in this life, she says. If you have any information, please contact 504-658-6010. Yep, isn't that awful? Absolutely horrible. Yeah, it and you go out and you really do think, you're safe and you're in broad daylight. You're going and you're having fun and you're at a party. But you know what, guys? Like I always say, there is no safe place. Ever. There's just not. And as you hear me mute in between, you will hear me. What I'm actually doing is vaping. I know it sounds bad, but this is a stressful day. I will try to get my little salt vape out, but you won't be able to hear me. But that's what I'm doing. So you guys don't think I'm just like dead airing you. Okay, so we have Zaire Tuck. Carmen Tuck's grandson woke up on September 24th, 2012, to his uncle hovering over him with an impulsive stack of waffles. Doesn't that sound great? Oh my goodness. He told his uncle that he did not want any, but his uncle said to him, "Eat the waffles." So he did. I could just see that happening too. Over a decade has passed, and Cameron's grandson has never again eaten waffles. His uncle was Zaire Tuck, 31 years old, who never returned to his mother's home. And after he went on a late date night visit to a friend's house in downtown Elizabeth, New Jersey, he was shot by an unidentified man and found on the sidewalk of his friend's house. His murder has never been solved. Zaire was born and raised in Elizabeth with his mother, Carmen, his younger brother, and Freddie. The family grew up in a three-bedroom apartment in what Carmen says is the hood of Elizabeth. Growing up, Zaire would spend time playing basketball and watching his favorite player, Kobe Bryant, on television, and there was no basketball on. Zaire often played video games on his Xbox. He beat the Grand Theft Auto game at least 20 times, but he still loved to play it. I'm with him. I still play it too. I can't lie. Carmen said that when she left her ex, her son began getting into trouble and fighting in school. They laughed sometimes, but they fought more. As a teenager, Zaire spent a period in and out of foster care, but when he was home, he was with his family. He would do whatever his mom had asked him to do. Zaire was a mama's boy. Days before his death, he overloaded the washing machine, and after she told him multiple times not to, when she found it overloaded, she figured out that the machine had broken to pieces, and she did the "I told you so" moment. Now, Zaire was familiar with repentance. He grew up going to church with his family, and when he was younger, Carmen said that as he got older, he drifted away from God, but he and his brothers fell into a pattern of trouble, which is completely common with kids, guys. I mean, even young adults. A week later, Carmen found her son praying to God and crying, and she believed he was reaching out to repent for mistakes that he made in the past for whatever he had done, but that was so worrisome to her. Like, why now, and what had he done? On the night of September 24th, 2012, Zaire received multiple calls and texts from his friend who was trying to get Zaire to go over to his house. Now, Carmen said that that friend had texted and called him insistently, which led her to believe he should have not gone. Even the dog was barking at him. Even the dog was barking at him to go to that boy's house. I think she means not to go to that boy's house. However, Zaire went to the friend's house at 9 p.m. and he were never ever returned home. Zaire's friend and friend's girlfriend reported that Zaire was shot in the neck. Carmen received a call from a friend who told her the devastating news, but she knew she would never hear from the police that night, and she didn't until the next day. She said that that report from the police the next day that she later received was that a car had driven by and an unidentified male pulled up to the friend's house that night demanding marijuana from Zaire, who, you know, they thought he was a dealer. Zaire was not. According to his friend's account, the identified male became anxious and Zaire said, "Hey, I don't possess any marijuana." But he could find someone that did if that's what he wanted. The man proceeded to shoot Zaire, according to the police, and it's unclear whether or not it was a misfire or if it was intentional. Now, Carmen said that the police told her that Zaire died from the fatal gunshot wound to his neck, which caused him to choke on his own blood. Trigger warning, guys. I'm sorry, but anytime we talk about homicides, you're going to hear this. Zaire's memory lives on through his daughter. She was only 4 years old when her daddy died, and he is known to her and through everybody else as Daddy, but by Nana calls her baby. Nana calls him baby. As her father's towering height and just fiery personality, Zaire's father, who was absent for much of Zaire's life, said he had connected with Nana and had been there for her in ways he should have been there for Zaire. I watched Nana like a pit bull. Nana's a legacy, which is the granddaughter. Now, he said about he's overprotective, father figure relationship with his granddaughter. Carmen says she struggles for a while and she still struggles with this death because where's the justice? When will they see justice? Will they ever see justice? How does she quit fighting for justice? Anyone with information for on this shooting or what may have led to Zaire's death is asked to contact the Union County Prosecutor's Office at 908-527-4500. Gosh, that is so heartbreaking. And look at him. I mean, he looks like a fun guy, right? I mean, he has a cute little smile and a little grin. Okay, next we have David. Sorry, guys. When growing up in Belpain, Minnesota, Dane loved to play and to be active outdoors with his friends and sisters. Very often, the kids would find themselves playing in the junkyard with old tires and rusty cars. Other days, they'd be fishing in local creeks and rivers and playing softball. We didn't come home till the street lights came on, said his sister Margaret. Now, David enjoyed karate, playing flag football, wrestling, playing in his junior high school band. David was raised by a single mother along with his two sisters, Barb and Margaret. One of their favorite things to do as a family was to go to the movies. Their mom liked to sneak candy in. I do too. I'll sneak in a bucket of chicken if I want to be honest with you. To be completely honest with you. I'm joking. I wouldn't, but I would. So the mom liked to sneak candy into this theater, and the kids would just have a fit. They always were just so against it. But David had a major sweet tooth. His favorite foods were cake and pancakes. He loved to sit at the table with a stack of pancakes and drench them in syrup. When it came to cake, the most frosting the better, the more the better. His favorite animal was an eagle. For his birthday one year, he asked his mom for a pet eagle. His mom bought him a large eagle statue that was bright blue. According to his mom, the most thoughtful gift she could ever receive from him was a handmade clock. It still works to this day, she says. Yeah, Stormy, like if I can sneak in some KFC, I'm gonna do it. I'll bring a whole bucket of chicken. I'm not scared. His favorite job was planting tomato seeds at a nursery with his sister Barb. They worked together after school. David acted mad that the older sister had copied him on getting his first job. Now, Margaret and Barb both described him as jack of all trades, as a master of few. Like any young kid, he got into a little trouble here and there. His mom specifically remembers catching David and Barb smoking cigarettes one afternoon. The two had to sit down and smoke a full pack of cigarettes until they got sick. Barb got sick after one. David, on the other hand, blew right through him. Took it like a champ, Donna said. As a young adult, David ran into some troubles and decided to move to Denver, Colorado. Now, that was just for a fresh start. He began working in a hotel where he put his personality to use as a room service waiter. Only after a few months in this new city, David's hopes for a fresh start disappeared when he was murdered on his walk home after a night out. His sisters and mother lives are forever changed forever. On November 28th, 1993, David was making his way home from a night out at the bars when he walked down the 2100th block of Lamar Street in Denver, Colorado. He had an altercation with two individuals. The larger individual was seen by bystanders swinging a knife at David, and David fell to the ground. The two walked away. David was found by the police with a stab wound. He was rushed to Denver General Hospital where they had pronounced him dead. David was just 23 years old. The year 1993 was known as the Summer of Violence in Denver because there were several high profile killings. His sister Margaret just received the devastating news from her mom. The sound she made is something I could never, ever forget, says Margaret. If you have any information about David, please dial 911. Please contact these people immediately. Everyone deserves justice, and these parents, they deserve closure. My goodness. Terrible. Next, we have Edgar, and I just love his hair. Does he not have the best hair? Mark, are you guys laughing at me because of my chicken? Yeah, I'm not kidding. If I could carry a purse big enough for a bucket of chicken, I'm doing it. Have y'all seen theater prices? I'm frugal. Yeah, I will. I haven't, but I'm not saying I'm too good. I'll do it. Okay, so we have Edgar. So he was the backbone of the family. That's how Edgar's younger brother, Angel, remembers his older brother. On July 7th, 2020, Edgar's life was tragically cut short after a 20-year-old was shot minutes after walking out of his family home in Willbrook, California, just to go to an overnight shift as a security officer at the City of Hope Medical Center. His brother says Edgar was special from the day he was born. Being the oldest of three children and having an absent father, Edgar shared a special bond with his siblings, and he knew he had to be the best role model for them. Now, Edgar would go to school being known as Mr. Popular, Mr. Cool Guy. His mother recalls, it's the hair, I guarantee it. He has some cool hair. He was the type of person who would get along with anyone, but also seemed to take up an interest in just about anything. He swam, he played soccer, skateboard, learned how to play drums, even got into running, which led him to compete in the LA Marathon in 2013. With all the times he spent doing just excursions, he always still found time for the ones he cared about. Whether he was his longtime girlfriend, Ashley, whom he started dating in middle school, or just with time out with his family. I think my favorite memory with him was watching WWE. I can't name you the Disney princess, but I can name you all of the WWE wrestlers, Ramirez says. We spent summers getting watched by Grandma. She was pretty into it. As Edgar grew up, his loyalty to his family and his passions never faded. He wanted to help provide for his mother and siblings, so he took a job working the graveyard shift at the local hospital. But he would also play gigs in a band, and he was a drummer, and he was a good drummer. The night of his murder, he was doing just that, trying to provide for his family. On July 6th, 2020, while he was originally not scheduled to work at the hospital, he picked up an extra shift to make a little extra money to help his mom. I remember telling I remember him telling me about it when they text him. Mariko calls. He says, I'm tired, but I'm going to go. He is always so responsible when it came to helping mom. His mother recalls getting home and hearing him in the shower. After she got ready, her and her daughter walked to Edgar's car, and all they said their goodbyes as they all sent him off to work. Angel, who was sitting on the couch, says that her mother tried to call her brother to make sure Edgar was okay after hearing gunshots, but knew something wasn't right. We ran down. I could hear voices shouting my name. His mother, they said, where's his mother? They were saying, it's Edgar, it's Edgar. And there he was in his car. The worst part was I didn't even know how to help him. He was in the car with the doors locked and the windows were up. The first thing was to call 911 for help, but then I was just calling his name to get him to stay with me. Edgar was then rushed to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead just on midnight, July 7th, 2020. No witnesses have come forward to say exactly what happened to Edgar. Now, Edgar walked out that door and drove down that alley, and no suspects have ever been identified. Now, many years since his passing, as the family still searches for answers, they know that keeping his memory alive is most important. His brother says that for a while he had a hard time comprehending the situation, and he spent years full of anger for what has happened to his brother. Recently, though, he says he's learned to appreciate every person and to have empathy for everyone. And he says the biggest lesson he's learned from all of this is that, never take risks. Now, I've just learned from this path he makes and his accomplishments, Angel said. Andrea also keeps her cousin's memory alive by taking a shirt with Edgar everywhere she goes on trips. So everywhere she goes, she takes one of his shirts. It's just a small detail that I do because I know that if he were alive today, we would be going places together. The cousin said, when I went to New York, I was in Times Square with my Edgar t-shirt. Guys, if you have any information, please contact their Department of Bureau at 323-574-4347. Oh, that is just so sad. So sad. All right, guys, let me come over and check chat and kind of chat with you guys. You haven't been to the movie Stormy since 2006? I did take my boy to a couple cartoons, and it was great, but it wasn't as great as I remember as when I was little. I have to give you that. All right, guys. Well, I really want to thank all of you for joining me today. Like I said, it was unexpected, and for all of you to be here, I greatly appreciate it. Don't take life for granted. Compliment someone. Be kind to one another. You never know when today's your last day. And with that being said, God bless, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
In a world that turns too fast, some are lost, left in the past, but we won't let silence win. We'll speak their names again. Voices rising through the dark. Every story leaves a mark. We are the ones who won't forget. The fight for truth is not done yet. We shine the light, we raise the call. For the missing, the broken, we stand tall. For justice, for healing, for every tear we carry.